The fluorescent lights of Save Mart hummed their familiar tune as Maya Chen scanned items with practiced efficiency. It was just another Tuesday evening shift in suburban Phoenix. The kind where time moved slow and thoughts drifted to unpaid bills and her grandmother's upcoming medical appointment. Maya had worked this register for 3 years, ever since dropping out of college to care for Nai after her stroke. The decision had cost her the scholarship she'd fought so hard to earn. But some choices were made with the heart, not the head. She was halfway through scanning a customer's groceries when she heard it. The language of her childhood, spoken in hushed urgent tones 2 lanes over. Mandarin. Her hands kept moving automatically, but her ears tuned in like a radio finding its frequency. The couple was young, maybe mid-20s, dressed well enough to blend in. The woman wore a designer purse that Maya recognized from the knockoff markets, and the man kept glancing around nervously. "We do it with the old card first," the woman said in rapid Mandarin. "If she asks for a D, you make a scene. Americans hate confrontation. They will just let it go." Maya's chest tightened. She'd seen this before. Credit card fraud was common enough, but hearing it planned so brazenly in her mother tongue felt like a betrayal of something sacred. She finished with her customer, smiled mechanically, and watched as the couple moved toward the register next to hers. Jenny was working that lane, sweet Jenny who was 19 and saving for art school, who still believed everyone told the truth and played by the rules. The couple placed their items on the belt. Electronics mostly. 2 iPads, a gaming console, expensive headphones. Nearly $2,000 worth of merchandise. Maya's colleague Jenny smiled her sunshine smile and began scanning. The man handed over a credit card, and Maya saw Jenny's fingers hesitate over the card reader. Something had triggered her instinct, that little voice that whispers when something is wrong. "Can I see your ID, please?" Jenny asked politely. The man's face flushed red. He launched into broken English, his voice rising. "Why you need ID? You discriminate against me. I call manager. This is racism." Jenny's eyes went wide. She was already backing down, already reaching to override the system. Maya saw it happening in slow motion, saw Jenny's hand moving toward the button that would process the transaction without verification. In that moment, Maya thought about Nai, about the scammers who had tried to trick her last year with phone calls claiming Maya was in jail and needed bail money. She thought about all the times she'd stayed silent when she should have spoken up, all the times fear had made her small. Maya stepped away from her register and walked over. Her heart hammered, but her voice came out steady and clear, speaking in flawless Mandarin that made both scammers freeze like deer in headlights. "I heard everything you said," Maya told them quietly in their language. "I know exactly what you're planning. You have 10 seconds to leave this store before I call the police and tell them about the fake cards in your wallet and the scheme you described in detail while standing in line." The woman's face went white. The man tried to bluster, switching to English. "I don't know what she's saying. This is harassment." But Maya continued in Mandarin, her tone now steel-wrapped in silk. "I grew up speaking this language with my grandmother. She came to this country with nothing and built a life through honest work. People like you make it harder for every immigrant trying to do the right thing. You shame us all." The couple looked at each other. The calculation was visible in their eyes, weighing their options, measuring the risk. Maya pulled out her phone and began dialing. That broke the spell. They abandoned their items and walked quickly toward the exit, trying to maintain dignity while essentially fleeing. The automatic doors closed behind them, and Maya finally allowed herself to breathe. Jenny stood there, stunned. "Oh my God. Maya, what just happened?" "They were trying to use stolen credit cards," Maya explained, switching back to English. "I overheard them planning it. You speak Chinese?" Jenny's eyes were saucers. "Mandarin. Yeah." Maya felt suddenly self-conscious. "My family is from Taiwan originally." The store manager, Derek, came rushing over after being alerted by another cashier. Within minutes, Maya was recounting the story, and Derek was on the phone with the police. They arrived 20 minutes later, and Maya gave a statement. The officer, a middle-aged woman named Patricia with kind eyes, took notes carefully. "You potentially stopped a significant fraud operation," Officer Patricia said. "These groups usually hit multiple stores in one night. Your intervention probably saved a lot of people a lot of trouble." When the officer left, Derek pulled Maya aside. His expression was serious but not unkind. "I need you to fill out an incident report, but Maya, what you did tonight, that took courage. I'm putting a commendation in your file. And I want you to know we have a management training program starting next month. I think you should apply." Maya felt tears prick her eyes unexpectedly. She'd been stuck in place for so long, trading water, that the possibility of forward movement felt foreign. I dropped out of college, she said quietly. I'm not qualified. Derek shook his head. You just demonstrated better judgment and quick thinking than most people with business degrees. The program will help with tuition too, if you want to go back to school part-time. Think about it. That night, Maya drove home with her mind spinning. She found Nai in her chair by the window, watching her evening Chinese drama. Her grandmother's face lit up when Maya entered, the left side still drooping slightly from the stroke, but her smile unmistakable. Maya sat down and told the story in Mandarin, watching Nai's expressions shift from concern to pride. When she finished, her grandmother reached out with her good hand and gripped Maya's tightly. You used your voice, Nai said in the language of their ancestors. You stood up. That is the most important gift I could ever give you, the courage to speak. Maya realized then that all those hours spent translating for Nai at doctor's appointments, all the years of maintaining her Mandarin while her friends lost their heritage languages, all of it had led to this moment. Her two worlds had not been pulling her apart. They had been preparing her to stand at the intersection and be exactly who she was meant to be. 3 months later, Maya was enrolled in the management program and taking night classes at community college. Jenny had become a close friend, and they often studied together. Derek had given Maya more responsibility, and with it came better pay. The raise meant Nai could attend physical therapy twice a week instead of once. Small victories, but they accumulated like interest, building towards something larger. One Saturday afternoon, Maya was working her shift when an elderly Chinese woman came through her line, looking confused and clutching a handful of coupons. The woman spoke no English and was clearly overwhelmed. Maya switched to Mandarin effortlessly, helping her understand which coupons applied, showing her the weekly specials, even walking her to find a product she needed. Thank you, the woman said, her eyes grateful. It is hard being in a place where no one understands you. I understand, Maya replied. And you are not alone. As the woman left, Maya caught her reflection in the security monitor. She looked the same on the outside, but everything inside had shifted. She was no longer the girl who had given up her dreams. She was the woman who had found new ones, rooted in the truth of who she actually was, bilingual. Bicultural. Brave enough to speak up when it mattered. Strong enough to carry her worlds together instead of choosing between them. Sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is use our voice in the language that is most needed in the moment. Maya had learned that kindness sometimes looks like confrontation, that protecting the vulnerable means standing firm against those who would exploit them, and that the skills we think make us different are often exactly what make us essential. Her grandmother had always said that the bamboo bends but never breaks. Maya finally understood. She had bent under the weight of her responsibilities, under the pressure of her circumstances, but she had not broken. And now she was growing again, reaching toward the light. If this story touched your heart, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Pure Kindness Stories for more tales of everyday heroes who remind us that courage comes in all languages and kindness knows no borders. Share this story with someone who needs to remember that their unique gifts, the very things that make them different, might be exactly what the world needs them to offer. Together we can build a community that celebrates compassion, honors integrity, and recognizes that standing up for what is right is always worth it, no matter what language we speak. Thank you for being part of this journey with us.